All right, so today we're going to be going over a trade, and I'm going to be showing you how I was able to make $750 on trading the Aussie dollar off of a higher time frame alignment. This, what you're looking at, is a 30-minute chart, and if you look down here, you can see the trade results. The trade was entered at about 8:32 a.m. It was one trade, but I went in with two different contract sizes. That's why you see it split up here. So you see the entry was within seconds of each other. So if you look here, let me just go to my testing results so far before we get into the trade. So I use if you haven't seen me on any of my other videos, I use a higher time frame alignment using the 4-hour chart for structure and my supports and resistances and my direction. And I usually try to get in on the smaller time frames. As you see, we have a very high 73% win rate. And these are just some of the trading days here. First week was at 2,300. I was a minus 665 for the second week here. I do have recaps on those trades to show you what happened with the losses. I do both my wins and losses on this channel, so we always keep it transparent. Like I said, there's no perfect strategy, but this is a strategy with a very high edge and very high win percentage. So you're going to take some losses. I did have some lessons learned in this video that I could have easily avoided these losses, but it's just part of the game. So make sure you check that video out on my channel to you may learn something from that you can put into your strategy also. All right, and then today, this includes the $750 win, and then there was a small loss of $131 that was taken the prior night. It rolls over into the next day, but it was started at 11:43 p.m. and it closed out at 12:56 a.m. So let's jump back into the chart so I can show you what we did here. So if I go over to the 4-hour time frame, we can clearly see that we are trading below the 50 EMA, and we're getting lower lows. These highs have not been broken, so I'm still bearish, even though we have not created a new low since, see, what is this, probably about a week ago. So we're trading in between this range, bouncing back and forth. I did take wins here. You see a trade execution that happened here. That was a win. Had another win here. And you notice they're all sales because we're only looking for sales down here. Now, coming over to my trade earlier today, this candle here was a huge engulfing bearish candle. It went, let's see, that was at 10 p.m. So that should have closed out at 2 a.m. Now, when I woke up in the morning, this next 4-hour candle also was closing bearish from 2 a.m. up to 6 a.m. So when I jumped into that trade, I was in this candle here, which had not closed. But what happened was it was in the middle of pulling back up, and I wanted to catch it as it retraced down. And my theory behind this and the way I trade is that whenever I see this engulfing on a 4-hour, when it closes through a structure, it's going to always look to get to another structure. So once it got through here, we had a nice clean area over here. And my, estimation is that it's going to get down to this structure down here. And usually I look for it to close past those candles. So this would really be my target here. I'm still looking into this, and I have another trade open actually on my other account where this is still running that I can hold overnight. On TopStep, you can't hold overnight, so I just take small scalps on TopStep just to get in and out before the 4 p.m. Closeout time. So as you see, this candle had wicked back up. Now, if I draw back into the 30-minute time frame, the trade was entered at 8:32, so that would have been this green candle here, this green candle. So on the 30-minute, I could see another clean setup where we had this candle here at 7:30 a.m. wick above, closed bearish, and then the next candle here at 8 o'clock closed even below that one. So my anticipation was that when I saw this 8:30 start to wick up, that this would continue bearish. And like I said, I'm looking for this structure down here. Once we close below here, we had clean area down here to close down here. So jumped in that trade at 8:32, and we got some drawdown in there. My stop was way up here. And then once we pulled above there, we got another push back down. And then the 9:30 candle just, took off and shot right down to TP. So it was a very clean trade. Like I said, we had a little drawdown, but I was pretty confident in what was going to happen here based off of that higher time frame. And my risk to reward was good. I had a 1 to 1.5. I don't really look for very large risk to reward when we're doing these day trades, and I have to have it closed out by 4 p.m. So sometimes the structure allows me to get a little bit more out of it, but for this account, I'm not really worried about having the large risk to reward. The consistency is what's most important here, and getting in and out of the trade before it just ranges and you close out without profit. So like I said, once again, definitely let me know if you have any questions about the strategy. Make sure that you're checking my other videos to see more in-depth strategy, how I'm training it on other pairs. And also, like I said, I also show my losses. So I'm not only showing wins here, we're showing losses and keeping it fully transparent. I have another setup that I'm watching right now on both the British pound and the euro. So just to give a little preview, we're in a strong downtrend here. Now, you can look at this and say that once we get down to here, we may be looking to go back up. But what I'm riding on is that we had this strong push down on this 4 hour candle, and we should have a nice clean run down to here. So I'm looking to ride this. If we can get a close down here, and when I say a close down here, I'm looking at these smaller time frames. So we see the hourly time here. If we can get down below this resistance on the hourly, if you look over here, nothing but smooth sailing down. Now I'm targeting here, but once we get to this point of resistance, I'll be, checking the chart and looking to see if we have any problems getting through that. Because if you look at this on the 30-minute time frame, you don't see that resistance. If I'm on a 30, you would see resistance down here. So that's why I will be targeting this initially, depending on how price is moving. I'm thinking this will probably happen pretty soon. It's currently, I think, 12 a.m. and I'm not sure if I'll be up to catch it. I'm thinking about setting a buy or sell stop to tap me in once it breaks below here, because I don't want to miss it. I'm pretty confident that this will play out once we break through this area. If I set a sell stop about here, um, if it doesn't come back down, then, there's no harm done. Nothing will happen. And I can, wake up and just take it off if price decides to ride back up. But I'll be watching it for a little bit longer tonight. I'll give it another hour or two before I head to bed. And make sure you're following the channel to see how it played out and if we're able to get in. All right. See you then.